Ladies and gentlemen, it is finally that time once again. For those of you who have been following the game, let's say enthusiastically as I have, we've been kind of counting the days and or hours that this would finally drop. We knew that an update was coming at the end of the year, but we had no idea what date it was going to be, so we've just basically been waiting for something like the Game Awards or some sort of big riot blowout event to drop and confirm that we're finally getting this newest update. But turns out we're getting another random drop on a Monday before a big event. So there seems to be kind of a theme in the way that Riot is planning this out, because last time we were waiting for a potential Evo update. They dropped it some random Monday morning, and this time, preceding the Game Awards, they did the very same thing. Dropped it on a random Monday. But without any more rambling, just to jump right into things here. That beautiful mural from inside the Riot office that they work in.
Hi,
Red
everyone.
Bull, Ari.
This is Tom from the projectl team. I'm back with our second promised update this year.
Wonderful to see it again.
Our last two updates focused on the big picture. We're a free-to-play tag team fighter set in the universe of Runeterra. I know at this point you're probably itching for some details. So
Yes.
this time we're going to start the year
Correct.
off right with a deep dive into some of our core systems.
Yes!
But first,
Come on,
here's a
come
quick update on Illaoi.
Take care of us, Tom.
We revealed Illaoi in our update last August. Back then, Illaoi was in the initial DNA phase of development, where designers, narrative writers, and artists explore concepts for the character's visuals, thematics, and overall kit design. Over the past few months, the team has taken Illaoi from concept to an early playable form. Illaoi is now live in our internal playtests, with this early draft of her model in the
She's
kit.
looking good.
What you're seeing here is about 30% complete.
Damn, that's
Right now, the team is
30%?
focused on fully realizing the
bad.
combat fantasy as a big body brawler and narrowing in on the mechanics of her tentacle attacks.
Okay, so all of that makes a lot of sense so far. I think in their development update before, when they first announced Illaoi, they did talk about in the blog kind of some of the ideas of how they wanted her to function. Like they wanted the tentacles swinging to be prominent, but they didn't want it to be something like a zoning with the tentacles from afar. They wanted it to be like Nagakaboros, being very involved in her gameplay, but you didn't necessarily control it per se. So this already actually looks a lot like League of Legends. So it looks a lot like just kind of spawning tentacles, and they'll just like whap onto whatever you're targeting or whatever it is. It looks very much, it's not just spamming like their projectiles and just trying to poke at your opponents. It literally is like combo extensions and things like that, which it makes a lot of sense. It fits the archetype of a heavy, bruisery, brawlerly type character instead of somebody who's just going to zone you out and then get in close and like chunk you down on top of that. I think that those things kind of clash a bit. So already they're kind of staying true to their word from that development update from last time. So looks good. I like it.
Meanwhile, the art team continues to work on her model, animations, sound, and VFX. She's still got a lot of work to be done, and that means it's time to talk about our big update for today, projectl's gameplay.
Yes, sir. All right, so are we gonna get system mechanics and some like UI maybe, stuff like that?
Hey everyone, I'm Sean Unconquerable Rivera.
Yeah,
Game
Tekken
director
boy.
and gameplay design lead for projectl, and I'm here to talk you through some of our core gameplay principles. We want to create a game where you can have fun right away, while also rewarding you for the time you spend mastering it. Our dream is making sure our
that definitely
champions
looks
have
like
fast,
Ionia.
powerful abilities, look really sick while doing them, and are even more powerful when paired with
He do
flexible
look sick.
systems. Gameplay that has quick, fluid movement at its core is extremely important to us. We believe there
Perfect.
are a ton of opportunities for player expression and mastery through how you move. In projectl, you can walk, run, dash, chain dash, jump, long jump, and super jump.
Okay.
And on top of that,
Yeah.
many champions
Tag
have
game
their
stuff
own unique air
and
mobility
animated type
options.
stuff.
Putting your
All right. This is sick. This looks fantastic and it looks super clean, but damn, mobility is going to be wild. It's a tag game. I mean, I think we all expected that it was going to be something like a Marvel, something like a Guilty Gear. We're going to see like air dashing, we're going to see super jumping, we're going to see just a lot of mobility options. But they're already talking about how character specific stuff is going to be included as well. So maybe you can change your jump arcs, and we just saw Ari like rolling around up in the air. Like, that is going to be a little wild. And also, we've already seen, and maybe, I don't know if they'll talk about this per se, because this isn't usually a like known feature of games, but people were already theorizing in the Echo gameplay from yesteryear that there was going to be like wave dashing, or maybe there'll be like blink dashing or whatever sort of dash canceling. So if we have all this double jumping, super jumping, la da 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 da, on top of the wave dashing, like, that's a lot going on already for new players for sure. So already kind of taking some steps in the right direction of, if you're really good with your movement, that makes a big difference in fighting games. I mean, there are games where movement is like the majority of the skill set that you'll have in some of these games. Like some tag fighters, and definitely something like a Tekken with your wave dashing and your Korean back dashing, all that kind of stuff. So very curious where all of that leads to, and I will stop talking again because I want to find out.
Champ in the right place at the right time is a skill that you can gradually get better at over time.
Some more
We
Ari
also want
dodging
to
projectiles.
incentivize action. This means making sure that your offense is rewarding.
Nice wall
and that your
bounce.
buttons are worth pressing. Plus, we think this makes playing and watching more exciting.
Wow.
We want you to have powerful buttons which are useful in a number of ways.
Parry?
While also giving you the tools you need to defend
Or like a
against them.
breaker? Let's see.
We have a mix of big, clear defensive options and some more
Push block?
nuanced systems
Okay, that was
reward you for reading
huge.
your
Wait, whoa,
opponent's
hold on. Was that a push block across the fucking screen? Hold on.
mix of big, clear defensive options.
Jesus Christ. He just like fucking like, that's some Swiftmaster shit of just get the fuck away from me. Okay, I'm assuming that that's just push block, but that
and
was
some
a
more
lot.
nuanced systems that reward you for reading your opponent's next move. Those are just some of the basics, but I've still got more to cover today. We were originally developing projectl to be a 1v1 game,
Yeah,
where 2 champions
which I think we
enter
knew that.
and 1 emerges victorious. But around 2 years ago, we made the pivot to a tag team assist-based fighter.
Yeah.
Our tag
Yeah,
system
because I think a lot of people kind of caught on to that when they showed the original gameplay. It did look a lot more like just a grounded footsie-based fighting game, whatever you want to interpret that as. But it was pretty clear that the tag system that they showed in November of last year was like some sort of a pivot, and it seemed like they wanted to go a different direction than they originally anticipated. And actually, like, the other example being Rising Thunder obviously was not a tag game. It was a little bit more of a grounded 1v1 traditional style of fighting game. So this, I'm glad with the direction. Now, I'll tell you the truth, I am not a big tag game player. I've definitely dabbled. I mean, I played Marvel growing up to a certain extent. I've played a little bit of DBFZ now in the more recent years, but that is not a subgenre that I have a ton of like competitive experience. I'm not very good at tag fighters at all. So it is going to be a little bit daunting to get used to really maximizing tags and stuff like that. And there's definitely some games I want to play leading up to projectl, but it'll be a bit of a new venture for me in terms of getting to a point where I really am maximizing some of this functionality. But we'll see how it turns out and what other mechanics are going to show off. Things that I can start practicing now.
systems are deep and flexible, aimed at helping you unlock your creativity. They work in tandem
God,
with
this
our
game looks so
champions,
clean.
allowing 2 champion teams
I'm so glad
take
to see
down
it. Oh,
opponents
okay.
together.
That's like a juggle state.
We really felt like it gave us more space to create hype moments where our champions could live up to their fantasies. And I mean,
Now, the other thing I will say so far is, as much as I was just talking about the movement options and how that could create some really crazy stuff, it seems like the comboing itself is not super fast, if I'm completely honest. Like, I feel like Marvel and even DBFC, there's a lot more hits in a row when you're doing, like, when you're launching and when you're like kind of jump canceling and bop, 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 like whatever it is, you're just hitting in succession a lot quicker than what it's showing on here so far. So maybe that's intentional and they just want to show it from like the newer player's perspective of like, hey, like this is doable, you know? It's just like launch them up, hit them with a projectile, hit them with a couple normals, la da 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 da. It's not just launch 1 2 3 4, cancel into Hadoken, cancel into super, knock them down, fucking pop them back up with an assist, and just repeat a bunch of processes where you're seeing 20 hit combos in like 5 seconds. It seems like it's a little bit more of like bop, 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 and it's a bit slower on the tempo, I guess is what I would say so far. But again, this could be intentional. This could be just very early development stuff that they're not getting into the really crazy shit that you can do in total. So
who doesn't love a
keep
good
going.
team fight?
Yeah, like still. Active tag. Nice. Ooh. Damn, Darius got those air combos, huh? Okay. Whoa, wait a minute. Was that like a tag burst? Okay. So I think that might have been a burst. What? Wait, whoa. So Echo can hit Jinx's objects? So we already saw that with the time grenade where he was like batting his time grenade. That made perfect sense. It seemed like that was just like an integral part of his kit. But he is interacting with his teammates' traps now? That's pretty fucking sick, to be honest. Nice. Nice cross up. Get him, Jinx. Tag in. Wall bounce. Another tag in. All right. And the super. Yeah, that looked like a level 1 super.
Let's break down some of the things you just
Or maybe
saw.
like an EX move.
Your main champion, which will call your point, and your assist champion can set up some killer combos using all of our tag systems. But for today, I want to focus on 3 of them: assist actions, handshake tag, and dynamic save. These names aren't locked, so they may be called something different the next time you see them. Assist actions are your bread and butter, and each champion has 2 they can perform from off screen.
Okay.
You can even hold
so just 2
to get a charge assist.
I like that.
Handshake tag lets you immediately swap between your point and assist champions as long as they're both on screen. When combined with assist actions, it also lets you set up some really powerful pressure sequences.
Yeah,
and you can even
that
use
makes
these
sense.
to extend
Reset
your
your
combos
pressure
as well.
normal.
The last tag system I want to talk about today is Dynamic Save, projectl's combo breaker.
Yep.
At the start of each match, you have access to your Dynamic Save ability. Dynamic Save
So
lets
it's a
you call
tag
your
in,
assist
though.
champion on screen in an attempt to save your point champion.
So wait a minute. So if you're down to 1 character, does that mean you can't burst? Ooh, that's interesting. So that is definitely, you want to keep both characters alive, because not being able to burst is definitely a huge deal. That's interesting to note.
If successful, the results can be explosive.
Yeah.
But be careful
And that
about
like
timing your
sends them
dynamic save, because it can
flying.
be countered if you're being too predictable.
Yes. Okay. And it seems like it's going to be like, if countered if you're too predictable, seems very much in line with the Guilty Gear. So you can kind of like bait out burst, block it, and then continue your combo and actually kind of reset your combo to an extent. And it is a hell of a lot of fun. I like that a lot more than the just fall out of a combo, like what MK11 does, where you can just literally just roll out of the air and it just breaks the combo, or even like the old school MKX where you just kind of like combo breaker and it just like knocks them out. That is a much more interactive way to do it, and I love that kind of burst in Guilty Gear. There's like this cat and mouse game of you can just try to block and bait the burst, and they might know that you're trying to block and bait the burst, and there's kind of like some mind games even within combos, and it keeps it really interactive even during a time like during a combo where it usually feels like there's just not much going on and you're just watching them go off on you for a solid 10 seconds or whatever it is. That's a great way to keep it fresh and keep it in the mind games and in the gameplay, and I love that system. So I'm very, very glad to see that here, and I'm really curious to see how that's going to play out, attaching it to a tag character. Like, that could be a big difference in terms of power level when you lose a character.
There's still more to uncover about our gameplay, but that's all we're ready to share for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll hand things back to Tom to say goodbye.
Okay, that was a great one. Okay, let's finish the video. I keep wanting to like pause and see all this stuff. Wait a minute. Hold on. Were they just playing 3S? Yeah, nice.
Thanks, Sean. We're pretty pumped about how things are coming together, and I hope you are too. As always, let us know what you think. Also,
we will.
Thanks to all the tournament organizers who met with us at EVO last summer to share your thoughts, feelings, and hopes for projectl's community and competitive scene. We're making this game with you in mind, and we want to empower you to keep pushing our community forward. Finally, for those of you out there looking to get into fighting games for the first time, try finding a local scene in your area.
Nice.
Fighting games, like most things, are way better when they're enjoyed with friends.
Very true.
FGC folks, help the new folks out by sharing your links in the comments. Thanks so much for everything, and stay tuned for more next year.
Damn. Okay. That's it. We don't have a release date. We don't have a name or anything like that. So again, it still seems like it's going to be a while before the game actually comes out. But whew, there's some meat to this one for sure. So, and we didn't get any new characters either. But there's some really cool shit going on with this game already. It looks super clean. Got to see a little bit of Illaoi at least. So we got some more gameplay, and we got into the thick of it with some of these system mechanics. And I might be off on a couple here or there, but they seem like they were pretty cut and dry. Some expected stuff for the most part in terms of like tag game mechanics and some of these some bread and butter stuff that you expect for this genre for sure. But seeing it in practice and getting confirmation on a couple things, like the fact that apparently we're gonna have 2 assists. I imagine you can use either or. You don't have to like pick one or the other or anything like that from the way that Sean just said it. We got the push block, which I think we already knew about that. We do get a combo breaker, which we already knew about. Or we did not know about that, sorry. So that's great to know. And again, I love that it's that like burst style by the looks of it. And then, of course, you got your tag attack, and then you've got your actual tag into your character to continue a combo and trade things off. But it looks really good. Glad to see Ionia, or whatever that new map actually was. There was some really cool stuff shown off for sure. But now we go back into waiting for a long time, I imagine. I think it was a good update. It's definitely more extensive and more meaty than the last one. So this makes me feel like they're getting... The systems are in place. You know, the foundation is there. They've got the core mechanics. They know what the game is going to look like. And it's really going to come down to fully developing that roster, getting everybody up to speed in terms of like finish Illaoi, start making like 10, 15 other characters or whatever it has to be. Just it's time to start doing the long work of just polishing everything up, getting a bunch of characters filled out. And then I think they talked about like ranking system and matchmaking and all the stuff that makes a fighting game great. But anyway, that is all I've got for the first run through. I'm satisfied with this one for now. I mean, there's definitely that realization of, okay, now I guess we wait another however many months before we get another update. And again, we didn't get a name, we didn't get a release window or even vague idea of when this game is coming out. But it's probably going to be a while. I think it's about time that we all accept that, right? I've been wrong in the past. I would be happy to be wrong again. And if it's just going to be getting a couple updates here and there. And the other thing is, I think that we will get more frequent updates going forward. I think it's pretty likely that they're going to start showing when they get the gameplay really fully finalized and they've gotten feedback and everybody's on board. They'll start making characters more frequently, and I think we'll start getting champion announcements and stuff like that. Which, side tangent, we didn't get any sort of acknowledgement of a new character, so therefore we still can't really speak to whether or not the leaked roster was in any way a real thing. Personally, I don't think it was. I know I haven't spoken on this publicly yet, but I don't think that the leaked roster in that big round of information that came out was actually legit. Well, I shouldn't say that. I think it was a legit survey. I think it was a Riot thing, and I do think that they were trying to gauge character interest, but it is by no means a confirmation that those are the characters that are going to be in this game. So it's something I considered making a video on, but honestly, I didn't think it was real. So it didn't seem like I needed to make another video when we've already got people like Rooflemonger or some of the like Big Bad Bear. People had already covered it, you know, like me just saying like, oh yeah, here's the leak. These could be the characters. And just talking about my opinion didn't really add much to the conversation. If I'm wrong and it's legit, cool. I think it's a good roster for sure. I think there's some really solid choices. And in fact, there's a lot of characters that I've already made videos for. But if it's not, so be it. You know, it's kind of whatever. But that's all I've got for right now. So I'm going to definitely scrub through this and see if we can pick apart all sorts of details that I missed. I'm sure the community is going to do the same. But for now, I guess it'll be a couple more months until we get another update, and I will see you guys then. So I will keep at making some character pitches and some other stuff for now. Hey, we got news. Thanks, guys.